Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Jason over at Exclusive Customs. At a little bit, it is going to be a 5-part video. Um, Give you a little story. I bought a 98 Ultra Classic, fuel injected. I want to say it was like January of 2016. Rode the bike that whole summer. The next summer, brought it up to Sturgis. It's 1,003 miles from my house to the campground we stay at when we go up to Sturgis every year. Rode the bike up there, had absolutely no issues with it. Put about 1,500 miles on it while up there. I stay up there for 14 days, 2 before the entire Sturgis rally and then 2 after. And then when I was coming back, yeah, about 940 miles in, and my motor started making some weird noise, and I knew it was coming from the lower end. So I sat there and all right, well, I'm in the middle of rush hour traffic by at the border of Wisconsin and Illinois, and I only had to go to Illinois. Like I said, I moved about 50 miles back to my uncle's house. That was the closest spot that I could put the bike. It was running and everything. I knew I was fucking something up, but it was already, I knew, I just had that feeling it was already kind of past that point of where it was going to be fixable anyway. And that was in 17. Brought it to a shop. I made it back to my uncle's house, no problem. Went to a shop. I got back the middle of August, so let's say August 15th. October, I ended up taking it into a shop. The guy tore it down, and I had actually fucked up the cam bearing in the case. And it just kept grinding on the case. The cam actually was grinding on the right side of the case. And the shop that I had taken it to, the guy was like, look, it's, you know, it's too much work, too much time, too much money, so, you know, I think your next bet is to just, you know, let's just do an S&S and call it a day. I didn't want that. There's numbers matching, it's an Evo. The bike I'm actually doing this video on right now, it's from my handlebar perch. I'm sitting on the seat. It's a 97 Dyna Wide Glide original motor, and that's just what I wanted. I wanted everything to be, I wanted the bike to be more me, but also be original as far as the drivetrain. So I told the guy, no, you know, I'll bring it back to the house, throw it in the trailer, and figure out what the hell I'm gonna do with it, you know. And being that it's the right side of the case, I know the left side is the one with the numbers on it. So, you know, I was, okay, do I try to get a new motor and then use the right lower case and the rest of the other motor, or do I just part the bike out, you know? Now, mind you, at this time too, I also got 6 bikes. At that point, I think I'm up to 9. Yeah, I got 9 right now. So I wasn't all that concerned about the bike. My uncle had a buddy, a childhood friend. He was a Harley master mechanic for years back in the 80s and early 90s, so the perfect year for the Evo. So I ended up talking to him, and he said, you know, yeah, bring it by in spring, and, you know, let me take a look at it, figure out what we can do. And I'm like, all right. So I keep the bike at my house. I took off the motor, brought him the motor. Like I said, that was probably March of 2018. I knew he was busy at a full-time job. He was doing, 60, 70 hours a week. I told him I'm in no rush. This will be important at some point in the story because you'll understand in a minute. So I told him take his time. I'm not in a rush. I got many other bikes to ride. We'll figure out what I'm gonna do, and figure out what's wrong with it. We'll figure out what to do. So he ends up telling me, like, it's probably a year later at this point, that he's got a buddy that's got the same exact bike, but he got into a wreck. Engine's perfect. All right. I had some performance shit done to my bike, so I was like, all right, cool, we'll just use the cases and, that'll be fine, or the right case. So I ended up in 21. Like I said, I had pretty much kind of forgotten about the bike. 21 rolls around, and I ended up getting sick, going through treatment and all that. The bike wasn't even a thought in my mind. I started getting better, and somebody actually mentioned the bike. I had forgot I even had it for a while, and somebody mentioned to me in like the middle of 23 maybe, like, hey, whatever happened to the red bagger? So I end up calling him. He's now sick. He's got, both of his knees are bad. He had to retire from work, blah blah blah. He keeps, I got this going on, I got that going on. I got sick of waiting, man. So I ended up, I had my uncle call him and told him, like, look, whether the bike's in 5,000 pieces or we can ride it away, whatever, we're gonna come pick it up. So I was gonna start doing this video before, and then once I pick the bike up, get back to it. But I'm gonna bring you guys over by the bike, let you see. I did pick it up, it's still in the trailer. I'll let you see what he did, what still needs to be done. I decided on, I'm gonna go ahead and just finish building it up. The majority of the shit's done. So yeah, let's go take a look over at it. We'll see what we got here. I have no clue how to. Alright, so I'm going to do this as a part 2 because it will not let me flip this around.